what he's always seemed to do, and it's good to see.
Phil Haynes, by the way, able to make it off the field. Keep an eye on his arm here. Watch the arm. Left arm. Ooh.
Looked like he got his finger stepped on, too.
33rd start of the redshirt junior from Raleigh's career today here in Winston-Salem.
Well, even the initial landing, 305 pounds down on that wrist. That's
little shovel inside. Serenade can't do much with it. Maybe a yard toward the 10 for Cam Serenade. Second time he's touched the ball. Warren Ruggiero going to the design play a little bit, huh?
Hadn't seen it as much early on this year as you had in years.
Walford to throw. The tight end goes up top and can't hang on. Boy, Kwanzaa has been all over the place. 49. He and number 16 Singleton collapsed right around Serenade as the ball arrived. That's a nice play on both ends.
Absolutely. That's a big, strong tight end. Even harder to get up there and dislodge the ball from his grip. And a great job, too, to not go for the head and draw the flag. So a victory here after the great field position for Wake to start. To just hold to a field goal attempt for the Duke defense.
29-yard try for Weaver, 16 of 19 on the year. And the kick is good. 5:40 to go in the first period. Mike Weaver's 29-yarder.
Guys are catching passes, they're running the football, but the offensive line was firing off and really owning the pit there. Just mashing the guys up front from Georgia Tech.
There's Jones running with it. Daniel Jones is going to have a first down toward midfield. Maybe the best offensive play on the ground by Duke so far today. 13 yards, and Daniel Jones goes up top trying to hurdle a guy.
Well, last couple weeks, I mean, you go back to that Army game, and even though it was a loss and not a lot of success, you can see where there's realize we've got to get the ball in Daniel Jones' hands on the ground more. 18 times he ran it in that game.
Quick throw inside, ramming, slanting from the left side. First down into Wake territory, approaching the Deacon 39 as Jesse Bates III on the stop.
Now you'd like to see him go right back to these guys inside there. It's a route underneath Bates, and Bates immediately with the hit, but the damage is done, and this time ramming hangs on to it, even though it's a little bit of a double catch. You just want to see him just lock in that football.
First piece of real offensive momentum for Duke today, James. Wilson trying to get to the outside. And cuts it back for about 4. Demetrius Kemp, who batted the ball away from McKeesey last week of NC State, James, in that thrilling finish here at BB&T Field. Demetrius Kemp, one of those stars, makes the play there.
Well, I mean, look at him right here. Kemp comes up, uses his hands. He's got a would-be blocker on him, but he just shucks him. And he just goes up and he's just refusing to be blocked, uses his hands, comes back under control, makes a nice open field tackle.
Another give. Wilson trying to reroute. Boy, that's a fine play. Shooting through is Masterson, who gained some valuable experience when Jesse Bates was hurt. And he knocks down Wilson for a loss of 1 here.
There he is, going to come from his safety spot. Just on the roll, run blitz, boom, he's there to fill. You know, the confidence, just top to bottom. It's just these guys are making plays. There's confidence, and it becomes contagious when they all start playing well, playing together, and knowing their role. A bunch of playmakers here.
0 for 3 on 3rd down. Jones to the tight end. Daniel Helm, 1st and 10 at the 18.
First and foremost, time. Time for the big man, Daniel Jones, to stand in there and survey, and he's going Helm. You see his eyes the whole time. And right underneath that zone, in the middle of that zone, a nice little hole, gives him a chance to clear it. Boom. Good job by Helm, feeling like he's going to get a big lick in the back to pull it in and secure it.
So Duke into the red zone for the 42nd time this year. Sean Wilson can't get but a yard to the 17. Jabari Williams has been busy. One of the senior linebackers, he and Dawson. Kempa Jr. Jay Salvell, the defensive coordinator, who replaced Mike Elko last spring. Boy, he's got a fantastic unit here, James. They'll lose Ejiofor, of course, but you get Rodney, Yarberry, back, Calhoun, who we saw make the play earlier. Here's Jones in trouble, and Dunn pulls him down back at the 20. Juggled the snap from Austin Davis, and the game was on for Wake Forest.
They're back there in a hurry when you catch the snap cleanly. Snaps a little bit low. Jones has to go down and take his eyes off the defense, off of his receivers. Once he gets those eyes back up, boom, he is done, because Dunn's sitting there waiting on him. Big play here, Wake Forest. Finally, Duke's getting something going offensively. Let's see if they can stiffen one more time.
5 on the line for Wake Forest. Here come the Dukes. Jones got to make a quick throw off the pads of Koppenhaber, the tight end. Chris Calhoun fired in there again. Another one of those younger guys we're talking about.
Just too many guys. Way more guys than you can block. They bring the house defensively. Jones able to get it off. And the result Coach Cutcliffe was looking for there after they had a little bit of momentum, but had to settle for a few field goals early in the win over Georgia Tech last week and still able to turn it around and win it.
38-yarder by Parker is good. So a 38-yard field goal gets Duke on the board in the final minute of the first quarter. And it's now a 10-3 ball game here in Winston-Salem.
Kelly Bryant's thrown just 5 interceptions. That's a pretty good job for a guy this point in the season. But I mean, Miami's just finding a way to turn the football over.
Chuck Wade on the return of the Jack Driggers kick out to the 30. And that's where Wake Forest start, and here is the senior from Jacksonville, John Walford. Man, oh man. You know what? When you take his numbers and you do the old blind resume, I mean, it's hard. Lamar Jackson is having statistically, James, we were talking about this before the game today, statistically a better year than the year he won the Heisman a year ago. John Walford's having a year that nobody in the NCAA's having in some respect.
So that said, Lamar Jackson's probably going to be your first team All-ACC quarterback.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
okay.
You're right.
Now let this play go. Right?
Here's a throw looking for Hines. And off the hands of Tabari Hines. Mark Gilbert, the outstanding Blue Devil corner, was there.
So this is your number 2. I mean, it'd be tough to vote him anywhere but number 1 because he's meant so much to his football team. But you're right. When you have better numbers, those crazy numbers as a Heisman Trophy winner, there's a nice play. Oh, the late flag's going to come down on Gilbert West. But gosh, from right here on the fly, it looked like an outstanding
defensive
play.
Pass interference, number 28. That's an automatic first down.
But am I missing something? I want you to think. Who else would be the number 2? Okay, that's a good call. He's grabbing on him a little bit. You got to be careful with that backhand. And again, we've talked about it.
When the linebacker starts backing up on the. Well, he got him. Yeah,
trying to take care of it. It's tough, man. It's one of the toughest things to do in sports.
You're right.
Cover these guys.
Look at Walford dialing Bachman again, and Gilbert was there. No flag this time.
Gilbert wanted one that time. It felt like Bachman was pushing off a little bit on him.
Boy, Bachman went crazy in the ball game at Notre Dame, 8 for 116 and a score against the Irish.
Well, didn't he? And that's the game when they lost Dortch and he became the guy. So quick on the draw here.
This is Colburn trying to work to the outside. Hard running from Matt Colburn. It'll be third and relatively short. Your point about Jackson Walford, though. Lamar Jackson gets a lot of resume material built on last year for this year, okay? Now, nationally, he's starting to come back a little in the Heisman race. But this guy right here has had quite a year as he overthrows Serenelli.
Boy, and that right there is uncharacteristic of John Walford because they were bringing the blitz. He threw it where they vacated, and that's a big play. That's a first down and a whole lot more. You see him, and he knows it. I mean, Gilbert coming off the edge. He went to the right spot. That's why just so many times he gets him in the right play, gets him the ball to the right guys. Just off the mark there.
Maggio, who had the 74-yarder. Ramming will signal for and make the fair catch at the 17. Much more reasonable punt by Maggio here, so to speak. 10-3 game with just 2 seconds to go in this first period.
All right, before we were so rudely interrupted by offense and quick strike offense, can we finish it since we're not going to, I mean, who else can touch John Walford? And, you know, Lamar Jackson is a different story.
Nobody. Not this year statistically in this league.
Player of the year in the ACC.
That's
Chubb.
Well, I think Bradley Chubb's going to get a tremendous amount of consideration because he's been a tremendous player game in and game out.
Justifiably so. You mentioned it, the linebacker, like, vote boss for Heisman and stuff like that.
Inside route, and the catch is made, and that's Aaron Young's first grab. Out to the 35, and that'll take us to the end of the opening 15. Isang Bassi, who's been on a tear for Wake Forest, got the tackle. Well, the Sternad interception led to a Walford to Hines touchdown. And then we've added field goals on both sides after 15 minutes in Winston-Salem. We go to quarter 2 and a quick check of the Wrangler game summary. You see the rush yards for Duke, just 19 of them, but the Blue Devils have 5 plays of 10 or more yards.
And look at the average field position to start for Wake Forest, midfield. Wrangler.
Britton Brown's coming to the ball game. Play fake from Jones. Checks it back here to the near side. Another catch for Aaron Young. Out to the 43. Oh, Daniel Jones.
You know, it comes to a point to where you talk about quarterbacks having that internal clock in their head. You know, it's receivers as well, and they got to work, come back for them. And there's the shot at the end that Jones takes. He's back over the ball right now. Seems to be okay. You know, good protection up front. but guys got to get open for him too. And there have been a few times, I'm sure for Daniel Jones, it seems like Wake's playing with 14 guys. The way they've blitzed and still been able to cover.
Rick Brown cannot break away. Jabari Williams, another stop. Rebecca, for the Deeks. Williams off to a great start today at linebacker.
He is. And, you know, I talked to quarterback Daniel Jones this week, and he said, look, we understand the implications of this game, but their mindset is the same as last week. It's 1-0. It is about Wake and Duke, not anything more or what could come of it. They cannot afford to look ahead, obviously.
It's down to 60 minutes of football for Coach Cutt and his 10th squad in Durham. 1 of 5 on third down is Duke. Last week, 5 of 12 against Georgia Tech. They're 9th in the ACC coming into today. Ramming, broken up by Isang Bassi. Now 4th and about 3, and the Blue Devils are going to punt it.
It's across the board in that secondary.
Yeah.
We started the game, Amari Henderson, an outstanding coverage, knocking the ball loose and creating the interception. We saw Jesse Bates, a couple good breaks. One of them he breaks up, and this time it's Bassi. Just a sophomore. Well-coached secondary, very physical.
Jesse Bates the third, the redshirt sophomore, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Returns the punt of Parker. Didn't call for the fair catch, and Chris Taylor unlocked him at the 10.5. 46-yard punt, no return.
I guess it's just the name. You're tough. You don't need a fair catch when your last name is Bates. Right, Wes? Right?
ACC football is brought to you by CPI Security, your local Ford dealer, and by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina. The plans you want, you've got it. Oh, Brian Piccolo, St. Thomas Aquinas down in South Florida. The quarterback was John Makovic, by the way, James. And there's Piccolo scoring on the dive.
Oh, look at this linesman here. Look, that's taking pride in your job. You don't get that signal anymore, do you?
Not with that kind of enthusiasm. There's Arkeem Bird. This little RPO to Bird on first down.
I didn't realize Piccolo was from St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yes, sir.
So that South Florida connection coming up to Wake Forest, Winston-Salem, that's been going on for quite some time then, huh?
Mm-hmm. You betcha.
A lot of great players that come out of South Florida to come to Wake Forest.
Down to the 17 for Arkeem Bird. Remember a year ago in our visits with Dave Clawson, he was excited about this young man being redshirted, Arkeem Bird.
Mm-hmm.
He's had some moments. this year, backing up Matt Colburn. Well, John Walford turns it upfield. He'll have the first down. People say, why do we say gritty, gutty John Walford? Well, here it is right here.
Well, and it's the decision. It's, you know, it's one thing to be tough and go out there and fly, but it's another thing. You got to make that split-second decision. Now, tuck it, go. Here's my spot. Here's my chance to move the chains.
By the way, he just set the mark for single-season total offense at Wake Forest with the keeper prior to the little sneak here that got a couple yards to the 25. Early in this second period, Dave Clawson looking for what would be career win 111 today. And as Rebecca told you at the top, be historic for Wake Forest in many ways. Little flare, and on the perimeter, here goes Tabari Hines again. What a weapon Hines is becoming, out of bounds at the 31. And you have to imagine, James, the injury to Dortch in the Louisville game sidetracked maybe a little bit of the rhythm they had. Boy, Hines has made up a lot of that ground, hasn't he?
Well, it's really opened up this offense and shown you how many weapons they really have. There's a nice break.
Oh, yeah. Singleton reached in across the intended receiver, Scotty Washington.
Get off the field. Yep, that's a big stand. You know what this game feels eerily similar to last week's game. That Georgia Tech game in the first quarter, in the first half, at halftime it was 20-20, but it felt like Georgia Tech owned that football game. Yep. Can't let them hang around.
Ramming going to back up. He'll play it inside the 10 and runs out of room right away. Bachman, the wide receiver on the punt cover unit for Wake Forest, did a great job on a 59-yard punt by Maggio.
Well, we saw it before the break from Duke, and here answering a little bit of their own. Wake Forest, great job covering. Look at them coming down. Look at them all